Hi everybody, I'm Connie Anaya, graphic designer with the Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum. How's everybody today? Well, today I'm back. Yay! We're going to do lesson 6 of our Precious Moment series for the Saturday Adult Crafts. Lots of fun. So I hope you guys are having fun doing your lessons. And so today we are going to work on your state logo that's on your flag where you live at the time. So for me, it is here in New Mexico. So what I'm going to do is ask you guys to do your thumbnail sketches. It's always good to have your thumbnail sketches. I've started on mine. Here are some that I did. This is a regular New Mexico Zia symbol, and I thought, oh, I can do one in a heart shape, and then I did one with a circle and a heart. So who says we can't be creative with our state logo flag design? Well, I can, and so can you. So what I think I'm going to do is do the state logo in a circle. I think I'm going to do this one on the bottom. For some reason I wanted to put a heart in it. Maybe it's because I love New Mexico. But anyway, so I want you to go ahead and get your border canvas. Of course, you know me. I've chose to use these boards. And this was just a smart idea. If you just purchase a long board, you know, this was, I think it was 12 feet, I can't remember. But then I cut it in sections, so it was a 12 by 12 by 1 inch piece of lumber, and I've cut it, and I've cut them all down so I can have them ready when I want to paint. So what I did is I always sand them and get them prepared for the lesson. So I've already done that. Another thing you can do is I always like to make a template that will go on my canvas or my board. That way I don't have to be erasing all the time. So what you do is you just get a couple of pieces of paper. I've taped them together so they fit my board. Let me show you. And then I just went around the house looking for something that was a circle shape that would fit on my board for my design. So I know you guys, if you're here in New Mexico and you get to do the Zia, just do that, you know. Or if you want to just freehand and make your Zia, you can do it that way. But having something round, I found this little bowl here that I'm going to use to make my circle, and then I'll put my lines on there, and once I get it all sketched out on my paper, I will then trace it with my transfer paper onto my board. So you guys make your sketches and then think about how your Zia is going to be. Another thing I thought of, instead of doing my background, which will be all yellow, and then the Zia will be in red, I think I'm going to do my heart in turquoise. So, but as I was gathering all my supplies and stuff and thinking about it, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit of texture design on the back of my board too. So once again, I've chose to get some of my templates that I have here at the house that I think might work. I'm not for sure which one I'll use. I found this one here is kind of cool. I've used it before on other paintings, but I kind of like this one too. It's kind of a southwestern design. So again, as you're sketching, you just start coming up with these ideas. So all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and make my little template on my paper, and then I'll be back, and then we'll get started painting. Okay? All right, so as I was getting my template ready, oh yeah, I wanted to mention, you guys, you can go online or wherever you want to research your state flag and the logo. And then you can just come up with all kinds of ideas. For New Mexico, the Zia symbol has been created in so many different ways because it represents the sun. So as I was sketching just a moment ago, I was doing my lines on my Zia just so straight and perfect. And I'm like, why am I doing that? I'm like, this is just not fun for me. So I decided to make my lines on the Zia symbol curvy. So this is what I came up with. See there? Anything can happen when you're being creative, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So for sure, things will change, and it wasn't like what I thought of here, but once I started making my little template, that's when that idea came out. So I think this is going to be more and more a fun project. So I've gotten a bigger paintbrush here, and I've wet it a little bit. And now I've going to select my color and then just start painting. If your paint is a little bit thick, you can always add a little bit of water to it. There you go. I've picked up that lighter color. Let's see what it's done. And you just slowly paint. Take your time. Think about what you're doing and how it might look. Always get your edges. So what I just noticed with my board, and you guys might notice with your canvases, that you have a little bit of a transparency where you can see through. See how you can see the board and stuff? That's where you have to give it a second coat and just layer it. All right, so I've put that first coat on. Now you need to let it dry, and then you can go back in and put a second coat in. And so go ahead and put your brush in your water and let it set for a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and use this template and do a little design on the background of my board, but I'm going to use just a real light color of turquoise because in the middle I'm going to do my turquoise heart. So again, use your dry brushing tool, make sure it's dry, and then just pat a little bit of paint. I'm just going to do something very just very subtle, so I'm just going to barely pat down in areas. Some will be dark areas and some will be light, but it's just to give it a background texture. So, and then you can just pull it off and see how it looks, and then just continue going. Okay, so see that? So I went ahead and did a little bit of darker around the edges and a little lighter in the middle, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish that up. Okay, so I finished putting that little texture design on the back of the board. And like, don't freak out, because you can always go back and use your color to lighten it up in the spots that you want, but I'm kind of liking that. Oh yeah, once again, after you use your template, be sure and you wash it off. As you can see, this one here has color on it still that I didn't rinse off that well. This one here, like, oops, I should have done that. And then also your dry brush. Whenever I was cleaning this out with some soap and water, I didn't clean it out right the last time, because as I was putting soap in my palm and rinsing it out and swirling it around, another color came out besides the one I was using. So that was another mistake. So be sure and you clean out your brushes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on my Zia symbol on the back. So I'm going to transfer it onto the board. Okay, so I've got my sketch done the way I want it with the little squiggly lines. And I am just going to get my carbon paper and put it underneath my drawing, and then I'll sketch that onto my board. Alright, so I've sketched everything out on my board, and it's really light, which is good because you're going to paint over those lines and they're not going to show up. But I did notice in here, in the circle where my heart is, I think I want to lighten up some of that texture background that I put in there. But that might be the only place. I might, I don't know yet, lighten up the edges, but maybe after I've painted some of the rest of it. So anyways, I hope you guys are going to have fun doing yours. I'll be back. Colored that in a little bit, painted that in a little bit, and I'm liking the way that's going to look. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the Zia in red. So I'm just painting the arms of the Zia. Just use a thin, semi-thin brush. Always select your brushes, the ones you feel work good for you, making it as easy as possible. So I am gonna have to give it a second coat, but so there it is. And I want to add a little bit of shadow to the Zia to make it pop out. So I'm going to do that. Yes, so I am liking the shadow effect. My camera's not too good. I hope you guys can see it, but I'm lightly putting a shadow on each of the rays of the Zia. All right, well, I'm done. I put the shadows and looks a whole lot better. Yay! So I'm just going to clean up the back and put the little hanger on there and then put the varnish on. But I like the way it looks. And now I love this part, putting the varnish on. It just gives it that complete finish. I hope you guys are enjoying these lessons. We just have a few more to go, and then we will start on some other stuff. Lesson 6 is done of our Precious Moments series. I'm so happy you guys stay tuned for these Saturdays adult crafts. So anyways, here's the finished product. I love the way it looks when she put the varnish on there. So once again, my name is Connie Anaya. I'm the graphic designer at the Farm and Ranch Museum. And I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this painting series or collage series, whichever you want to call it. But just have fun and get involved and enjoy it. So we'll see you next time. Bye.